Hey guys, welcome to the Canada Puck Podcast, your weekly recap of what's going on in the world of sports, specifically hockey, and more specifically, right here in Canada. I'm the little guy in the little box. Grant can actually see what's going on. Your co-host, Mick. You can find me on Twitter at ProfitMick, and I'm joined by the guy in the big box here, because I'm having technical difficulties, not sure what's going on.
Grant, on Twitter at Fourth Line Sports. Am I this way? Am I doing it right?
Kind of, yeah, I'm just like up slightly. I'm like kind of sitting in your forehead. It's kind of like I'm like the little brain, like Herman's Head. You ever see that show?
Oh man, that brings back a memory, but I can't put my finger on it.
All right, so I'm like the little voices in your head right now, so.
You know what, I can't let you get by with this without bringing your attention to how you introduced yourself as the man in the little box. I feel like there's an innuendo there that maybe there's kids that listen to our show, so I'll let it slide this time, but you won't get off so easy next time.
Wink. So we were coming at a little bit later. We had some technical difficulties this morning. An abridged version. Kind of the idea with the show is we're going to be ready for Hockey Night in Canada, some variety. So in theory, you could still watch us and take place. Maybe we're like your intermission for today. Although if Bielska's on TV, I do recommend watching him. That guy's a national treasure. So we can't compete. Everyone else, we have a chance.
Bielsa. He was our loyal listeners will remember. Bielsa was actually our first male babe of the week. Last year, he broke the barrier. I feel like BX is the type of guy you want to have a beer with and listen to the stories he has to tell.
So if you're new to the show, welcome. We're going to run through some headlines. We're just going to kind of look around the league, see what's going on, see if there's any big stories jumping off the page. I know lots of teams have played one game, maybe two games, so we're not going to jump to any conclusions. We have some fantasy advice for you, some daily fantasy if you want to get some FanDuel lineups or just copy ours and make some money. We're not terrible. I have some things I actually have to throw off Grant because there's a couple alterations to the lineup that I want to make. Some gambling advice. Grant's going to try and win some hockey cards. It's a good time.
Well, I forgot about that game. Man, I'm excited.
I even got a name for the segment, so.
That's even more exciting because you're a clever dude, and I know that you're going to, like, My Dirty Fantasy, Bettor Advice. I don't even know where this new segment is taking us, but I'm excited to find out. And unlike Mick, I am ready to jump to conclusions, especially when it comes to one Canadian team in particular. But I'm a very absolute type of guy, unforgiving type of guy. So if you're ready to rock and roll, we can get right into headlines, and I can just shit all over the Vancouver Canucks because they are bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're bad. They just keep getting, like, for a team that is as young and talented as the Vancouver Canucks are, they do not have any structure whatsoever, and it's just going to be their downfall. Thatcher Demko is already being overworked. We're 2 games into the season. The guy's facing like 30, I think it was 38 shots and 36 shots. They're always getting outplayed. Their advanced metrics are suffering. I feel like Travis Green is not the right coach for this team, and I know that everybody loves him, and I know that they, gave him all last year, even though they were basically the worst team in all of Canada. Well, they were, without a question, the worst team in Canada. They were probably in the conversation for worst team in the NHL, and even with all this skill, they are going to waste it unless they get a new coach there. So this is what I'm saying it right now. Vancouver's chances at a playoff position are contingent on them getting a new coach.
You heard that here, folks. Vancouver, I know you're number 3 in the overall standings right now, but you're going to finish dead last in our hearts.
Yeah. Get over yourselves, Vancouver. Not just the Canucks. The entire city can actually get over themselves.
So let's play a game because the standings are kind of goofy right now. The Buffalo Sabres at 2-0 lead the league. Let's move down from there. So we got Vancouver at 3. If we jump down to number 9 overall, we get to the Ottawa Senators at 1-0, 2 points. I told you they'd be frisky. Didn't I say they'd be frisky?
You said frisky and sneaky, and I will say that they lived up to the billing in their season opening win over the Toronto Maple Leafs. I don't think anybody saw that coming. Peter Mrazek. I think I see somebody who did see it coming. Mick?
My wallet got a little bit fatter. I just had a feeling after kind of that lackluster performance from opening night, back-to-back, I figured early on in the season. And I didn't like I said it. I didn't like the Mrazek signing. I'm not a fan. I think it's going to be bad juju. So I did put some money against the Toronto Maple Leafs and was happy I did so.
Hey, did Mrazek get hurt? I got a text message that I was kind of glossed over.
I didn't watch the game. It was one of those like regional locked games. I'm not paying money to watch hockey. I get enough of it for free on my TV that I pay for. Yeah, so I didn't watch it. But I think it was some bad bounces, some suspicious calls, maybe a kicking goal at some point. So it's one of those things. I think we'll probably see the opposite result tonight if you're catching my drift. But other than that...
Oh, some cookie crumbs. We have a cookie alert for later, maybe. You know what I am excited about? Hockey Night in Canada is back, and we get two very outstanding matches or matchups to start the season. Ottawa being one of them, obviously. I don't really have a stake in the Ottawa Senators game. I didn't really break down anything that they did in that game. I do see something tomorrow that I like about them, though, and that is they and the Dallas Stars are both on the second night of a back-to-back. Dallas is playing in Texas this afternoon, and then they fly to Ottawa for an afternoon game tomorrow. And I think Ottawa, well, what is that? A 45-minute flight from Toronto to Ottawa? Mm-hmm. So the circumstances tomorrow absolutely favor the Senators. I suspect Ottawa's going to open up as plus money underdogs at home. And if you are into fat wallets like Mick, I would say that they would probably are the team to bet on tomorrow. But I'm excited to see what they bring tonight against Maple Leafs.
Yeah, I'm excited to actually dive in and kind of get into the game myself. Again, it's one of those things. I'm not a box scorer, a visual learner. So if we move down the standings from there, we get to the Edmonton Oilers at 14th.
I think what we saw from Edmonton is exactly what their biggest, their Achilles heel has been for the last 2 seasons. Well, really for the last 15 years. Mm-hmm. They can't hold the lead. You had a 2-goal lead going into the third period against the Canucks. You blew it in, I think it was the final 10 minutes. Thankfully they hung on and won in the shootout. Just feels like this is going to be a common theme for the Oilers again, and it's going to be what limits them, and that is they don't have this you shut down way of limiting their opponents. They always just give up leads. I'm not putting it on Smith because Smith was outstanding. Their defense, well, we chatted about it last week with the changes in on the back end, how that might impact their success this year. So I think what we're going to see from the Oilers is, and if they want to get serious about keeping McDavid happy, they need to address the back end, whether that means bringing in a more reliable top 4 defenseman or somebody who can just give Smith a break, because I can assure you it's not fucking Mikko Koskinen. That's not the guy who's going to bring us to the promised land. So
no, not at all. I think Connor McDavid there was 3 goals scored. He had 3 points in the first game. Hey, Hart Trophy. Hey.
I think it was 2 points because they won 2-0,
son of a gun.
3-2 in the shootout. So.
Oh, okay, that's fair. All right. Moving down, we get to the Toronto Maple Leafs at 17 at 1-1. We briefly touched on the Senators game, to the Montreal game. They've had slow starts in both affairs. Let's keep your eye on that tonight. But my takeaway from that is watch back-to-back, especially early on in the season. I wonder if conditioning, just because of the condensed preseason, I'm guessing training camps, just with COVID, everything's probably being a little bit shorter. So I wonder if guys are just not going to have their legs under them. So keep an eye if you're gambling. Take a look at who played last night, who's playing tonight. Take advantage of those things, because I think, yeah.
And I think, one thing that's, it's not explicit in that statement is that goaltender usage. And there is often a big drop-off between starting and backup goaltending. The caliber is just completely different. Edmonton's crystal clear example of that, Smith versus Koskinen. But most teams have that dichotomy where one player or one goalie, their primary goalie, is just light years ahead of the other one. And the other thing that scheduling-wise is also the Olympics. It's an Olympics year, so they finally got their shit together. They're going back to the Olympics. But I believe that is a minimum of 2 weeks without hockey in February. Mm-hmm. I didn't look that far ahead in the schedule, but that's also going to impact condensed scheduling both leading up to and after. So we're going to see lots of back-to-backs, 3 and 4s, 4 and 6s, and those are the spots where you can pick your spots as a gambler and make some money.
Sweet, yeah. So we got 3 Canadian teams left to go. The Calgary Flames have not played a game All right. Is that a pass? Is that just like we didn't like them in the power ranking show? They haven't played a game yet. We just pass on them. Talk about them maybe next week.
I think that it's gonna. Yeah, we can shit on the Flames some more, I suppose, or we can pass. You know what? We shat enough last week.
Yeah.
Sorry, Flames. Gonna be a long season.
That's
Moving
it.
on.
Winnipeg Jets are they lost a game. I don't even recall them playing at all, actually. That's just one of those things that escapes my mind. Weird.
4-1 to the Ducks, I think it was on Wednesday.
Okay.
And when you're giving up 4 goals to the Ducks, like Ryan Getzlaf, who I'm pretty sure was going to retire at some point, if not last year or the year before, somehow he's the top centerman in Anaheim. And if you wanted an indictment about how bad the Jets are defensively, you gave up 4 points to the Ducks, man. Like, that's Tucker Poolman bad.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was like, poor Tucker, where's he? Defensive stability is what he brings. And then finally, La Belle Provence, Montreal Canadiens.
What a god-awful team they are.
So as the Leafs, I'm proudly wearing this because the day that the frisky Ottawa Senators pull a fast one and the refs help them, pull one over on the old Leafs, you look across the town and there's the Montreal Canadiens losing 5-1 to the Buffalo Sabres. And all of a sudden you feel better. So
that is a game in which my wallet got a little fatter. I can't even remember the guy's first name anymore. Montembeault, but that's their backup goaltender. I shouldn't even say backup goaltender. Jake Allen's a backup. Carey Price is a starter. Montembeault is this. He hadn't played in the NHL since 2019-2020 season. His save percentage at that time was in the 80s. And this is who the Montreal Canadiens are relying on right now to help them win games. Talking about drop-offs between primaries and backups, this is another crystal clear example of an exploitable matchup. Maybe it's Sam Montembeault? I can't remember. Anyways, when he starts, it's probably a good time to fade the Montreal Canadiens. And a 5-1 loss to the Sabres, who barely got past the crappy Arizona Coyotes this afternoon, that's again, bad indictment. So Montreal, until Price is back, if Weber comes back, it's going to be some lean years or lean hockey games.
That's it. So that was it. Headlines, fast and dirty. Usually they're a little longer. We have a bit more content, but again, some teams have played a game. Hard to speculate off of that. You want to go to My Dirty Fantasy or FanDuel lineups?
Ooh, I think this is where, I don't know why this setup just works for us, but I love that we go from headlines to My Dirty Fantasy. There's always just these nice segues that we can go to, and then it even segues into the Bettor Advice segment so much easier too. So, first official entries for the 2021-2022 Canada Puck My Dirty Fantasy. Mick, who you got in your roster?
Who do I got? So this is a little bit of some breadcrumbs maybe to my gambling advice. I have Philip Grubauer in net. He is a projected goalie for the Seattle Kraken tonight. They're playing the Columbus Blue Jackets. What's a better outcome or more likely outcome? The Seattle Kraken are like 2-1 to start off, right? So they get another win tonight. Or the Columbus Blue Jackets, after 2 games, are outscoring their opponents by 7 whole goals. That's very unlikely. So I'm thinking the Blue Jackets are laying a dud tonight. I like Grubauer in net for that reason. I got really cute with my utility spots, and I'm really proud of myself. A 1-for-1 player trade last year between Patrick Laine and Pierre-Luc Dubois occurred between Columbus and Winnipeg. That's why they are my 2 utility guys at $5,400 and $4,900 respectively. I got Morgan Riley, little D-man that's near and dear to my heart, 6,100. Tyson Barrie is my other D-man. He plays on the power play with Connor McDavid. Probably worth an assist or 2 right there, 5,800. Connor McDavid up the top, $9,000. I've Ryden Nugent Hopkins. I think they're going to put up some points tonight, $6,300. And then I have 2 workarounds in between. Jared McCann, first line center for the Seattle Kraken. I think he got a point last game. Hopefully he gets another point tonight. Keeps it kind of chippy there. I think he's going to get lots of opportunities. And then I went with Cole Caulfield. I don't know, something I just kind of feel like maybe Montreal shows like some life. Caulfield's frisky. maybe he put something. I'm not sold. I could definitely change those 2 spots if you talk me out of it. So, Grant, what are you doing?
So our YouTube followers will see me feverishly trying to put something together here because technical difficulties notwithstanding, the old noggin's not working so good today. So I feverishly put this together. Just going off of, I'll just spitfire it out here. I also am on your side when it comes to the Oilers stack. For those people who tuned in last week, they saw how low I think of the Calgary Flames, and I think that the Oilers kind of exposed them tonight. So I splurged. I went McDavid, Draisaitl up top. It's $17,700 on the FanDuel slate. It's a big cost, but the amount of time these guys are included on a power play scoring together is just, it kind of makes sense to me. And I don't know why, but last year I had so much luck. Like when I left Connor McDavid out of my lineup, I did poorly. So I'm not making that mistake early on in the season. Wingers, I also splurged. So again, Montreal's at home. So be it. I don't think they're very good anymore. Artemi Panarin, $7,900. He's going to, again, power play minutes, going to skate. He's going to get some favorable matchups too, I suspect. So Panarin on, and by that I mean there's really the Flame or the Canadians don't really have a checking line to neutralize Panarin. Maybe they'll do it with structure, but I still think that he gets on the score sheet. I splurged so much on those guys. I went with Paul Stastny, only $3,600. Winnipeg and San Jose, probably going to be a high-scoring game. I paired Stastny with Nate Schmidt on the back end, $3,900. Again, power play minutes, high-scoring game. Check those boxes. You know who doesn't get a lot of credit, though? Justin Falk. Justin Falk does a lot of things right for the Blues. It's not an ideal matchup against Colorado because for as good as offensively as Colorado can be, they don't get enough credit for the defensive structure. So Justin Falk, I'm hoping he gets a power play point or two. 4,000. I had to make it work somehow. So scraping the bottom of the barrel a little bit with my next pick here too. Sam Gagner. I like the over in Vancouver, Detroit. Not that I have it in Bettor Advice, but I do like the over. Second night of back-to-back. Yaroslav Halak. He is going to be a shooting range because, as mentioned earlier, Vancouver doesn't play with structure. So Sam Gagner picturing maybe not an 8-point night. I would even settle for a 2-point night, but Sam Gagner, $3,700 included. And then Washington is hosting Tampa, so I took a TJ Oshie, $6,400. And then in net, Mike Smith, I think that he was an affordable. For what Smith has done and what he brings, I expected his salary to be higher, but kind of goes with my Oilers stack up front, $7,700. He was like middle of the pack for goalies, so I was like, can't pass up that value.
Oh, and I'll say that, like my Grubauer was like $7,200 or something. The top guy's $9,000 at $1,800 can be definitely used somewhere else. Like there's some goalies that are, I don't know. I think the value on goalies isn't quite right, so you can definitely take advantage of that early on, right? And even like my Tyson Barrie, Morgan Riley, I think the top guys are worth like $7,000-$8,000 for Victor Hedman. You're telling me that Morgan Riley isn't as likely to compete point for point with like Victor Hedman? That just doesn't make sense, right? So
yeah, I do like the value picks, especially if you're splurging for top line guys, like in my case, McDavid and Draisaitl, Panarin, like guys like Stastny, Gagner, like there's not, salary-wise, there's a big drop-off, but fantasy production-wise, I don't think it's going to be that big relative to the guys who carry the, $6,750 salaries. So
gotcha.
Here's hoping it works this year.
One change, Cole Caulfield is out. Martin Nikas, projected first line for Carolina against Nashville, is in. So I figure that's better value. Better offense, right?
So I'm high on the Carolina Hurricanes. I love that pick. Nikas was a guy who had a very he could have been a Senator. He was that sneaky and frisky last year. I think he's one of those guys whose fantasy value is going to increase or his stock is going to increase this year. So get him while he's affordable because that price is going up.
Ooh, sky high. All right. New page. Gambling. Our Bettor Advice. That's what we are. Do our gambling show. We get 100 theoretical dollars every single week. We gamble it. we see how our totals look at the end of the year. It's kind of like a little bit of a head-to-head competition. Give us a little bit of street credit. In theory, we should be making plus money. So if you listen to our show, it's actually worthwhile because you're making money on FanDuel, and you're also going to make money gambling. Those are like everyone's favorite things. Grant, quit showing up there. There's this extra pop-up that keeps appearing. Quit it.
Me? I'm popping up?
Yeah.
Boom.
You got 2 heads now. It's too many.
Man.
But that second head doesn't record, so actually I guess I should have just played coy and no one would have noticed. Huh. Oops.
Well, you've drawn attention to me now, Meg, so fix it.
All right. Bettor Advice. I don't know what
Advice.
I don't know
so
what I
we
want
hit
to
you.
do.
Yeah, we hit you last week with a few preseason picks, but we're into the thick of it now with our regular season daily picks. For those people who are unaware, we start each week with 100 hypothetical dollars, and we see what we can turn it into. We monitor this over the course of the season. Obviously, we have nothing to look back on because all of our bets last week were preseason wagers in the futures market. But I have 3 picks, which is kind of standard for me on the show. I kind of have an MO, which I believe is Latin for Mo. 3 picks that I normally run through. I'll give them all to you right quick. Carolina Hurricanes, as mentioned, a great team. You saw how offensively gifted they were in their season opener. That's going to continue throughout the season. They are short favorites on the road against the Predators, and the Predators are not who they used to be. Who did they lose to? It was the Kraken. So Nashville lost to the Kraken earlier in the week. I think that was a Thursday night game. I think they're going to get absolutely exposed by the Canes tonight. Canes minus 116, fair price. Take it. Don't pass it up. Another team who was impressive, but it's kind of hard to properly assess how good the Blue Jackets were because they were playing the Arizona Coyotes in their season opener. And you want to talk about an island of misfits. I know that we've thrown this term around in years past, but have you looked at the Arizona Coyotes? Sorry, this is a bit of a tangent. The Arizona Coyotes roster is the island of misfits, and if you look at their roster, I actually had to go through and think and figure out how the F they got some of these players. Andrew Ladd, who was the other one that caught me off guard? I don't know. Louis Erickson, Jay Beagle. I thought they were going to get buried. No, Arizona's actually using them. So, nevertheless, Columbus Blue Jackets, even though they beat up on the Coyotes, I do like them at home. It's probably going to be a low-scoring affair. Kraken, what we've seen from them so far this year, not blowing teams out of the water, not, posting dominant offensive metrics. It's probably going to be a low-scoring game. Columbus, and maybe it takes overtime to sort out, but Columbus's plus money underdogs on home ice isn't worth passing up either. I have them on at 102, plus 102. Both of those picks, the money line picks, were for $40. That leaves me $20 for what you'll get from me every Saturday, and that is an overtime wager. Dallas at Boston. I don't like the Dallas Stars to offense. They're not an offensive team. Boston is probably going to play, again, I just picture a defensive battle. So let me just fucking succinct this up. It's going to be a defensive battle. It's get sorted out in overtime. So, and I misspoke earlier when I said Dallas was playing in Texas. They're playing in Boston tonight. So we need a fact checker. If anybody wants to fact check us, we could do, who's that handsome guy in the fancy suit? He always comes on after the PTI guys. Tony and Wilbon, he always corrects them. We need somebody like that. Anyways, plus 320 overtime wager. I'm taking in Boston for $20.
Sweet, yo. Mine is going to be short and simple. I believe in the Kraken. Damn it, I believe in the Kraken. So I'm going to go Kraken over the Blue Jackets. Actually, last night the line was minus 110. It's now minus 120. So a bit more money is coming in on the Kraken. Other people are believing that. So I'm going to do a parlay here. I'm going to do Toronto, Seattle, and Montreal, all winning, plus 375, $50 on each of those, which puts me up to $187 after week 1. That would be nice, but I'm going to hedge myself. Actually not hedging at all. I could just lose this. I actually know exactly who's going to screw me over. I'm going to put $50 straight up on Toronto just to win for an extra $17 in my pocket. Then that way, at least if I lose, I'm only down 30 something for next week. I'm okay with that. So.
All right. Well, best of luck to you as we embark on another exciting venture of gambling on hockey every Saturday for the duration of the NHL season.
So I think you have a babe of the week for us, or do you want to try and play? Do you have time to play cards, or is that like we wait for next week?
Let's do. I'll let you choose 3 or 5 cards. We should do a couple cards though.
So this is what we're gonna do. So I've got here. What you have to do is I'm gonna count out how many cards are left in this pack. I'm gonna pull up a roster from a famous team, and you have to tell me, stump the Schwab style, how many or name players off that team. You get 3 strikes, or if you're just like I'm out, you can call it, and that's how many cards you get to pick from.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I was multitasking, and you're all right. Whatever.
So we have 13 cards to choose from potentially. I'm gonna pull up the 2017 roster of the Pittsburgh Penguins, the Stanley Cup winning Pittsburgh Penguins. Can you name 13 players that were on the 2017 roster? Stump the Schwab style. So you have 3 strikes and you're out.
All right, 2017. I'm going to knock the obvious ones off the list. That is Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, Chris Letang. Marc-Andre Fleury was still there, and I believe he was joined by Matt Murray. Is that 5 right off the bat?
That is 5 right off the back. Easy. Boom.
This is where it's gonna. So I also believe that Kessel was still on the team then because that was his hot dog eating fiasco. Was Gensel there then?
He was. Yep.
All right. Let's see here. The back end. Oh man, who was that Oilers defenseman who came out of college? Justin. What the fuck is his last name? Can I just call him Justin Schultz? Is it
Justin Schultz? Yep. You got 5 left. Look at this. This guy's crushing it, killing it.
So I'm going. Oh yeah, this is where it's getting into the nitty gritty here. The HBK line. Bonino. I already said Kessel and H.
H stands for.
Was this a first name too?
No, this is his last name.
I'm not gonna get it. Just tell me it. So I'll take an X on this one. But it's gonna
Carl
drive me crazy. Hagelin.
Yeah. All right. So that got one X. 2 more guesses. 3 more cards.
All right. I'm going to say who was in the bottom 6 that or they had a big shitty defenseman too. Oh God, he moved like a boat. But he's pretty good at slowing people down. You know what? It's not coming to me either. I'm just going to shoot from the hip here. Was Dumoulin there? Brian Dumoulin?
Brian Dumoulin was there. 2 cards, 2 more wrong guesses available. Look at this. Killing it.
I know that I'm missing a winger, and I can't picture who was skating on Crosby's line that year. I know, so Jeff Carter got there last year. Who's playing on a line with Carter right now?
I don't think either of those players are there right now. Oh, maybe one went to Buffalo and then came back, but...
You know what? I'm stumped.
All right, we got stumped. Other ones you could have got was Connor Sheary.
Sheary, that's who I was thinking of, the winger. But anyways.
Did you say Oli Mata?
I did not say Oli
Ron
Mata,
Hainsey.
No. Hainsey, that's the guy who moves like a boat.
Matt Cullen, Ian Cole, Josh Archibald. I think he did pretty well. So there you go. So you have 10 cards to choose from. Do you want to go top or bottom? So I'm just going to pull the cards off the top.
I'm a bottom type of guy.
How many times in our relationship have I asked you that question? So
mixed bottom bitch, old Grant White.
All right, so you want to going off bottom. Pass, I guess you get 3 passes. You get the rest of the cards.
Okay.
You want the first card?
Yeah.
Ooh, you get a Max Pacioretty. Look at that. Look at that nice card there. Ooh. Pass, or you want this one?
I'm going to take that one too.
All right. You get a Cody Eakins. Nice Buffalo Sabres. Can go with your Taylor Hall. I'm just not going to give you the last 3 cards. We'll just do it that way. We also have a Jordan Binghamton. Oh, is that a rookie card? No, I guess that's from a couple seasons. And all right. A Matthew Tkachuk Flames. So that's pretty good. We're hitting a couple guys. We got a Jake Studnicka. No, he's a Bruin. So, Studnicka.
Cool, man.
Michael Skrabosa.
You know what? The entertainment value of hearing you rattle off like names with 7 consonants is definitely worth it. So
Elias Anderson, anyone from the Kings? We've got Joey Decard. Look at that. Senators. You got Buffalo Sabres. You got Senators cards. Kyle Clutterbuck. I don't think that guy's still playing hockey anymore. So you got a weird Legends card. And you get a Radis Gudis. Look at that. Look at that in his nice little Florida Panthers jersey. Top, if you would have went from the top, you could have got a Max Comtos from the Ducks. Derek Forbot. And an Andrew Cogliano. Look at that. Little Oilers throwback there. So there you go. Good job, Grant. Way to crush that segment. I wanted to call it Stacked Trivia. I don't know if we like that or not, so.
You know what? I do like that. I do like that a lot.
Oh, wait. These are mine. And those are yours. All right. Cool. Well, and I think that's a Babe of the Week. Then we're done.
We are at our Babe of the Week point. Not as risque as you would typically expect from our Babe of the Week. And for our loyal listeners, I'm sure that we've given you plenty of food for thought over the last couple of years. But this woman's absolutely gorgeous. Carly Kloss is her name. So Karlie, Kloss, Kloss. Apparently she's just had a baby.
Mm-hmm.
It's all good. I don't know. There's something about pregnant ladies, too. They just have this glow about them. Carly Kloss, she is our Babe of the Week. Schwing!
Nice. Well done. Well done, Carly Kloss. So there you go. So there's wraps up our week 1. Entertainment, excitement. We're going to win you some money. Excited for those bets to roll in. Get some fat wallets. Sell our sweet Maxime Comtos cards for like 50 cents. That's an extra 50 cents I just didn't have before. So
that's 2 entries. 2 entries, Mick, in a 25-cent FanDuel. So what do they call those ones? Deflections? I think they're called deflections. Anyways, whatever it is. Something to put in your wallet a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Sweet. So that's, I think we say we have an outro, and then maybe we'll talk to you next week. We're undecided. If we don't appear, it's nothing bad happened to us. It's just life. We'll be back in the future after that, though. So party on, Grant.
Party on, Mick. We will see everybody next week or the week after.
Bye.